We have to stop giving power to race. We have to stop believing that it means something. We simply have to stop. Hello, America. I'm Pastor Corey Brooks. From the south side of Chicago to the nation's capital, this is Rooftop Revelations. Many of you know me as the Rooftop Pastor. I recently spent 343 days living on top of a roof through Chicago's cold and heat to bring awareness to the violence and to raise money for this much-needed community center that you see being built behind me. And because of the many donations from Americans just like yourself, we are raising the needed funds for this glorious leadership and economic community center. We aim nothing less than the full transformation of Chicago's most violent block, O Block, into Opportunity Block. Here we discuss issues, local to national, from the streets to the Capitol. For you who have been on the journey with us, welcome back. And if this is your first time watching Rooftop Revelations, we're glad you're joining us for this latest edition of Rooftop Revelations. I have never taken a donation or any other form of payment from President-elect Donald Trump. Aside from my salary, I have never received any payment or kickback for the work I do on the south side of Chicago. When I heard the news that Reverend Al Sharpton was paid $500,000 by the Harris campaign, I was insulted. This is a man of God to boot, who claims to care so much about Black people, and yet he charged Harris a pretty penny for his time. Sharpton was not the only identitarian-based advocacy group to receive a paycheck. The Harris campaign paid a whopping $5.4 million to multiple Black and Latino advocacy groups. If you want to go further, you can add the celebrities who also advocate for Sharpton in these types of groups. And consider the nearly $2.5 million Oprah's company, Harpo Productions, received for the vice president's town hall. Sharpton and others didn't care enough about their causes to get behind the Harris campaign. They didn't see it as a chance to better their community. They only moved to action when handed money and a script. People always ask me what the Al Sharptons and Harrises of America have done for my community. And I always say the same thing: nothing, not one positive thing. In fact, it was Harris who let in millions of people through the southern border and then asked us, myself included, to take care of these folks. I stepped up. Did she? The only time I ever heard Harris talk about Chicago is when she praised the fraudulent victim, Jesse Smollett, and praised him for his recovery for his attempted modern-day lynching. Has she ever said anything about the young lives that were taken far too early and that I have to eulogize too often? Al Sharpton has made some efforts, and I had to give him some credit. He tried to replicate Martin Luther King's Chicago campaign by visiting my city every week, but then it eventually disappeared. His lasting impact over the last 10 years or so has been leading the Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown and George Floyd campaigns, which inflated Black Lives Matter at the expense of my community. There was money to be made there, and we lost far more lives than we should have, thanks to defund the police. What bothers me, especially about this $500,000 payment, is how it reveals race is only about money and power. And that's all these people care about. How are they any different from the white segregationists who exploited Blacks for money and power? I tell you what the difference is here, and that is that they are exploiting their own color for money and power. But then again, none of these things should surprise us, should it? Identity politics never helped anyone in my community. If you consider affirmative action, who does it help the most? Middle to upper class Blacks, multiracials or Africans, not poor Blacks. And these well-to-do kids never needed racial preferences in the first place. We have to stop giving power to race. We have to stop believing that it means something. We simply have to stop. And I practice what I preach every day on the South Side. When I hear white man, I squash it. When I hear the Black man can't, I jump all over it. Identity politics has no place here. It teaches us weakness. Real strength lies in developing our own character and seeing character in other people. That's the truth that we need to get back to. Al Sharpton can keep his money. Kamala Harris can keep up her line that she's doing something for us Blacks. Gain recognizes gain, and we are moving on past them. We're moving on to a better America where people who deeply care about their communities and one another and to a better America where we can face our real problems without any fear. The shame on us is that we gave such power to the Sharptons and the Harrises of America. But guess what? Not anymore. God bless you. God bless America. This has been another Rooftop Revelation.